Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. If you like the content, hit the subscribe button, leave a like down below. With that out of the way, today we're going to talk about WWE 2K26 and things I would like to see in MyGM and MyFaction. Why am I putting them together in one video? Well, to be fair, in 2025, I barely touched these two modes. I dabbled in them when they came out. I played them enough to get a good idea of what all the features were and what they were going with and the improvements and stuff like that. So I made a list of things I would like to see added in the next year's game. This year in 2025, they added online multiplayer, but it's very bare bones for MyGM, MyFaction. They were supposed to have a world tour, and as far as I know, they never updated it. Like, people have been asking for it since it came out. It's like, where's the next region? Where's this? Where's that? Clearly, that got probably tossed out because the game's almost done before the new one comes out, so I'm pretty sure they're not going to go back and start adding more stuff to MyFaction, at least not to that extent. The only thing they're really worried about, I think, is adding in Persona cards, like the Elite Liv Morgan, newer card packs for you to get, all that kind of stuff. But anyway, so let's get started. So GM mode, we're going to start with that. Number one, allow us to use our created championships, shows, and logos. This is the single most thing that prevents me from playing the mode. Imagine being able, for those of you that like to use real wrestling promotions, to add AEW, TNA, or New Japan shows or other shows from other promotions. How cool would it be if you could go into MyGM mode and set up an original wrestling ring and everything? For me, it would be my main event Strizer ring, my main event Strizer championship, Strizer 2 wrestling, all that kind of stuff would be in there with all my main characters. For those of you that like to use real wrestlers and other promotions, imagine putting in AEW with AEW Dynamite, Collision, all the shows on there, and then have all their pay-per-views also, just that things that you've made or downloaded from other community creations from other people. That'd be really fun, because then you could have like a little competition between WWE, AEW, or TNA and New Japan, or TNA and AEW. You could just go nuts with it. You could even have it to where, what if WCW won, and there is no WWE now, and WCW is facing the AEW right now? How fun would that be? Just little scenario things you can come up with and have fun. More options equal more playtime, in my opinion. All right. Number two. Now this is a personal gripe. Don't tie trophies to finishing the mode on the hardest difficulty. Difficulty-related trophies in general suck dookie poo. I was going to say ass, but I'm trying to keep it clean. The last few games, I didn't even bother going for the platinum because I have zero desire to play the mode in general versus playing it 10, 15 times and then having to beat it on the hardest difficulty. So it kind of kills the mode for me because every time I'm playing it, I'm like, I'm going to have to do all of this again and again and again in order to get the trophies. Like, as I get older, I don't really care about earning trophies. But sometimes I really want to go for the platinum in these wrestling games. But when they have stuff like this, or they have stuff like online wins, like win 100 matches online ranked in a row, kind of like they did with 2007 and 2008, and you have all these cheaters and hackers online that make it so they win instantly, or they pretty much quit the match and it resets your win counter. Oh God, don't get me started on SmackDown vs. Raw 07 and 08. I was so mad. I got to like 20 wins in a row because I found the cheese method for, you can pretty much get them in an endless grapple loop if you got the timing down right, and you could pretty much keep grappling them and make them submit every single time. I got to about 20 wins ranked, and you needed 50 for one of the achievements, which I never got because of this, and people started quitting. Like, because of the endless loop, yeah, they all rage quit. I would have too if that was happening to me. And so when someone rage quits, even though it's not you, back then it would reset your win counter. So after that happened 2 or 3 times, I'm like, all right, well, I guess I'm not getting this achievement because this is ridiculous. So anybody who had that achievement obviously cheated. So I'm just going to say it because it was impossible to get legit. Anyway, on to the next thing. Number 3 for GM mode, I want toggles to turn on and off certain aspects of the mode, such as stamina for superstars, injuries, contracts and contract lengths, or at least lower the cost for some of them, and the length. Like, Give me a toggle to where I can change it to where instead of it's a limited one, like some of them are limited for Legends of contracts and stuff, make it so that it's for the entire season. Because I hate it when, oh, this one's about to run out and you're trying to set up this show and then you have to spend all this money to try to keep these superstars. I know it's all part of like the whole strategy aspect of MyGM mode. That's the whole point of it. But for some of us, just let me toggle it to where if I get them under contract, they're contracted for that entire season. And then when the new season starts, we can negotiate a new contract. Just something like that. And with these toggles, if they want to make sure to keep it pure or whatever, they can just turn off trophies to where if you adjust it at all, you cannot earn trophies in the mode. There you go. Problem solved if you're worried about that. Although I don't think it should matter in the grand scheme of things. You're going to come out with a new game in less than a year anyway, so just give us more options. That's all I'm asking. Number 4, allow me to lock out created superstars from being selected by the other brands during the draft. It sucks when you try to pick all your own created wrestlers and the CPU takes some of them. It's so annoying. So yeah, the last time I played this, I'm like, oh, cool. I got all my wrestlers in there. I want to get my main characters on my main roster. My main 2 characters. I managed to get one of them, the male Strizer, and then the other brand picked my female character. I'm like, are you kidding me? So I reset like 3 times before I got all the characters I wanted, but I just want to be able to say, hey, they can't pick these. I want these on my roster. I just think that'd be cool. Or just let me pick like the entire roster. If it's against the CPU, have a toggle for that too. You pick your entire roster, and then the CPU just picks their roster after you've selected yours. I know that kind of takes away part of the aspect and the point of draft, but again, options. It's the CPU, it doesn't matter. When you're playing your friend or you're playing online competitively, then yeah, it makes sense to do it the other way because it's fair that way. But when you're playing against the CPU, who cares? Just give me that option. Like seriously, who cares? Number 5, last thing for MyGM is have mini entrances like AEW Fight Forever. This way we get a little something for the mode and speed up things in the process. 10 to 12 seconds I think would be perfect, especially for MyGM. Alright, so now on to MyFaction. This is the mode that I only go into in order to get the cards packs unlocked or opened up from the DLC just to see what they look like so they don't pile up in the mode. And that's pretty much it. I played it a little bit when it came out, but once I figured out you can't use high-level cards for the low-level missions and stuff, I was pretty much done because that's the whole reason I was waiting to play the mode. Because in the last couple games, you could just wait, get the Galaxy Opal or Infinity cards, whatever the heck the maximum is now, and you could literally go back and play through all those missions really fast, get through it really quickly. But I guess this is a way to make it so that your lower level cards are actually useful, because without that, those cards are pretty much useless. So yeah, that's why I didn't play the mode this year, because I was like, well, wait, I have to use a crappy low level card. You know, your stamina super low, you get punched in the face once and you're pretty much done for the match. It's like, yeah, that's not fun. That's not fun for me. Yeah, so number 1 for MyFaction is, and this is a big one for me, I would play this mode a lot if I could do this. And I mentioned this last year for 2K25. I wonder if they'll get it to work this year. Is let us import our created wrestlers to the mode. Have a limit of 5 male and female cards that we can put them on. Have them start out as bronze cards and let us level them up throughout the entirety of the game, all the way up to whatever the max level is now. That would be super fun, and that would get me into the mode. If I could take my main two characters and just play through the entire thing, I feel like that would be super fun. I would actually enjoy that a lot, even though it's a stupid card game. I would just love to be able to play as my characters because I know them very well, I know how they operate, and it'd be cool to just have another way to level them up. Number 2, card stats. Have each card you get have wins, losses, total matches, etc. attached to that card. So when you flip it over, it should have all the stats, like how many times have you used this card, and all this kind of stuff. I feel like that'd be really cool. Again, I love stats. I've been saying that in every single one of these videos. Stats. I want stats for everything because it's fun to look at when you're about to move on to the next game and you're like, oh cool, I wonder how many times I did this, or what card I used the most, or what wrestler I lost with the most or won the most, or how many suplexes I did, stuff like that. I mean, and then it'd be really cool if it carried over, because then you have like this, basically your 2K career we're going to make a video on that. I just came up with a cool idea. So keep an eye out for 2K Career. Anyway, next one, number 3, is allow every single card that is available in the mode to be leveled up to max. So let's say you have a certain card packs, right? They're all bronze when you start out, but you want to keep using those cards. And I know this will probably defeat the purpose of buying new cards, but when most of the cards have the exact same render on it and the background of the card is just different, it just kind of like, well, what's the point other than just spending money? I mean, you can make it to where they have to have like stuff you buy with MyFaction points to, you know, try to incentivize people to pay money still. There's ways to like basically keep everything in balance to make it still work, to get people to still spend money. And then for those of us that refuse to spend money or don't have the money to spend, we could still level them up naturally, you know? There's just cool things they could do like that. And you could level them up in 2K22, certain cards, and it was a pain in the butt though. You had to do old school with Undertaker like 100 times, do elbow drop off the top rope with Macho Man Randy Savage 50 times, you know, stuff like that. And they would have like checklist things. And then once you completed all those, it would level up to the next rank, which was really cool. And if you maxed them out, you unlocked, I believe it was like bonus slots to make them more powerful or whatever. Again, I barely touched the mode. Don't yell at me. So just stuff like that would really help out and make me actually want to play the mode. The number one reason why I don't play these modes, MyFaction mode in particular, is because after 2K22, where I spent almost 400 hours playing the game, most of that was in MyFaction trying to get all the checklist stuff done for the Platinum. And then when they shut down the servers, all that time spent was for nothing because it's all got deleted. Because they shut the servers down. It was all online only. So all those cards I earned, which I pretty much got, I want to say all of them in that game, you had to start from scratch in 2K23. And I was like, oh, okay, so this mode is a no-go for me. I'm not touching this mode ever again if that's how they're going to treat the mode. So you got to have stuff carry over. Anyway, so number 5, let us do any live event with any card. Don't lock out events if we don't have a certain card. This is another annoying thing for me. It's like, oh, cool, there's a live event. Oh, but you haven't been playing it. If you want people to come into the mode that aren't playing it, locking out live events to having a certain card and a certain pack that sometimes is very difficult to get is going to turn people off and they're not even going to bother. That's me. Another reason why I don't play this mode. I know there's a lot of negativity around this mode, but to me, MyFaction is the biggest waste of time in this game every single year. At least the island has, like, you can walk around, you can get creation parts for offline, you can actually do stuff in the mode. This card battle game should just be a mobile game at this point. I don't know why it's in here if they're just going to keep doing it the same way. Number 6, and this is what we were just talking about, our collection of cards needs to carry over to the next game. In its current state, the mode is a huge waste of time, like I just stated, and money. All you have to do is make it so that any card that carries over automatically reverts to bronze. But you can level it up to max, like I keep saying in this video. So anyway, those are the things I would like to see added to MyGM and MyFaction. I know there was a lot of negativity about MyFaction, but there's so many little things that they need to fix with the mode, such as locking live events to having a certain card, making it so that certain cards almost impossible to get unless you spend real money. Not being able to use our creative wrestlers in the mode, which makes sense because it's, you know, it's all about this whole closed off ecosystem. There's just a lot of things that they could do to make the mode better and to get me to want to play it. Because like I said earlier, after 2K22 and having everything pretty much wiped clean, like Thanos snapped, click, or should I say snap? I don't know why I said click. Anyway, it's just, the mode, it just annoys me now. Like, there's ways to make it so I'm like, this mode is awesome. Number one thing is have our stuff carry over. Respect our time. If you're worried about people not buying the new cards, well, that's why you make them all bronze. At the very least, if you don't want to allow us to level them up, you could at least let them carry over and they're all just stuck at bronze until the new cards start rolling out. That way it gives fans, it's like, thank you for playing the last game. We really appreciate it. Thank you for all your support. Here's a bunch of cards to get you started so you don't have to start fresh. And then when it starts, the new content starts rolling in, the more difficult matches start rolling in, people still have to get the new cards if they want to progress through the mode past the beginning. That's like, now that I think about it, I feel like that's the perfect thing for both them and their shareholders. I'm not like a shill or anything, but I know how they think. I know this is a company that wants to make money, lots of it, and then they can also please the fans, because it's like, hey, thank you for supporting us and supporting the game last year. Here you go. And it'd be really cool to just have a collection of all of them that you can still look at, right? And if they don't want to make it so that cards from 3 or 4 games ago keep carrying forward, they could keep it to where only the last game's cards carry over to the next game. Like, I'm just trying to, like, give them ideas here. I seriously doubt they watch my channel, although they might, because a lot of the ideas I had for 2K25 kind of came true, which was crazy. So, yeah. Carry over, creator wrestlers, everything. That'd be super fun. Anyway, I'll stop blabbing. Thank you for watching. What are some things you'd like to see added to MyGM and MyFaction mode in particular? And as always, stay frosty.